Hello, cosmic beings. Welcome to Being Cosmic. If this is your first time here, welcome, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I am so glad that each and every one of you are here. My name is Devon, and I'll be doing a collective message today. So, with that, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. All right. So, really quick, thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support on the channel. The likes, shares, comments, subscribes, and the donations all do help out. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you're interested in a personal reading from me, you can find that information in the description box below. Get into this. Let's get into it. Right. Okay. All right. So, okay. Get one more. One more? Is it immigration? Hmm. Okay. Maybe those two. Okay. All right. So, okay. Give me just a second. Okay, so it took me a minute to kind of get into this energy. It's really big energy. It feels really intense. So okay, we've got the connection card. Now, this has different meanings. This can be talking about merging with your higher self, allowing your higher self to come in and kind of take the wheel a little bit more. Just as far as like the direction of your life and allowing your higher self to kind of guide the way, listening to your intuition more so than allowing your brain to like logically orient things and it needs to go this certain way and kind of more listening to the intuition. This can also talk about a romantic connection. And so I'm getting it's kind of both. And so that could be something you're doing is you're really allowing your higher self to come in more. And it could have to do with this romantic connection. I don't feel like you're actually in a relationship with this person. So, okay, yeah, no, I didn't think so. All right, so I'm getting that this is an energy where you either have your eyes on a particular person or you are focusing on a certain type of energy that you wish to experience in a partner. And with that, there's this energy of finding inner strength, inner courage, and really kind of preparing. It's kind of like a preparing for battle energy normally off of this card, but I'm getting more for some of you, it's more like preparing yourself for potential rejection. So that could be part of this, is where you're being called towards a person right now, and then you don't know how they're going to respond. So you're kind of pulling that courage up and kind of, putting your brave face on and like, okay, regardless of what happens, this is what I'm being guided to do. That being said, we've got this card, which is direction. This is spinning your wheels. So, this is really letting me know that as much as you might be attempting to let your higher self lead the way, you're still in the overthinking energy when it comes to the situation. Um, okay. Okay. And then immigration. This one is really talking about understanding other people's perspectives. This could be coming to terms and making peace with the fact that your family gave you certain belief systems and then that dictated how you lived your life for a while and then you realize you don't want to do that anymore. You want your higher self to lead the way because you want to live a different life. And so now it's bringing that together and saying, okay, I'm coming into a place of forgiveness for the situations and how I got here and the direction my life took. And also I can now release those belief systems and allow myself to be more expansive and know that more is possible for me and I don't have to do things in this way anymore if I don't want to. And so it's really kind of making peace with that. Um, yeah, so it's bringing that together and and there is a level of integration as well. Um, off this knowledge card that came out, what's interesting is I'm getting like some of you might be looking at things like going back to school or getting a certification or something like that. So this could be like actual formal education in the way that we think of education. What's really coming through for me is really kind of deep diving some more esoteric topics, spiritual topics. Maybe it's rabbit holes and conspiracies and things like that. And so you're expanding your mind. You're expanding your perspective on how you're looking at things and relearning things that you learned and learning it from a different angle, from a different perspective, and seeing the deeper layers, and maybe you're seeing some of the nefarious undercurrents in things, and you're just really kind of it's almost like you're being exposed to a lot more. You're being exposed to more of that hidden knowledge, which is esoteric knowledge. It's basically like hidden knowledge. And then with the resurrection card, this is really talking about bringing something back up to the surface. And so this could be something like a childhood dream. For some of you, maybe it's a person, and that could be the person that you have your eye on. Um, and so it's really bringing something back up to the surface to give it a second go. And this is being divinely led. So whatever is coming back to the surface for you or has been brought back up to the surface for you is being divinely led. Um, hmm, just a sec. Okay, so I'm being guided to say a few extra signs and synchronicities for somebody. Take it as it resonates. It doesn't mean it's not your message if these don't resonate. It's just those that it's for, then this is extra confirmation that this is your message. So on this card, it's showing a guy fishing. And so that could be relevant. Maybe somebody, maybe one of you likes to fish. Maybe the person that you've got your eyes on is like an avid fisher person. Um, We've got what was some indigenous cultures, cowrie shells on this one, and then we've got rainbows in this one, buffalo or bison, and then crystals. So those are extra signs and synchronicities for somebody. Tarot. We're getting into the tarot. Okay. So I was guided to pull out a tarot deck. And when I paused it, what came through is this knowledge in this resurrection card is what led you to being in this energy where you're focused on merging with your higher self, possibly another connection. I just heard divine counterpart connection, so that could be relevant. And then it's also this is what has pushed you into this energy of strengthening. Really, and this is also strengthen. This card is also talking about spiritually protecting yourself, energetically protecting yourself, shielding your energy, cutting cords, releasing, attachments literally, just clearing, cleansing your energy and protecting it. So there is that message here as well. And know that you have beings in the spirit realm that are helping you with your protection as well. And then so this is also possibly what has been resurrected for you and brought back up to the surface is causing you to spin your wheels a little bit, is causing you to be in kind of this mental looping energy, not sure what direction to go, not sure which, where to start, how to go about this, so on and so forth. And that's where coming to peace with some of the things that happened in your past, some of the reasons why your life went the way it did, where I'm getting the sense of like life went a certain way and you are unhappy with how it went. And so this is making peace with the key players that kind of helped propel you on that trajectory. in life. And so it's making peace with that. And then understanding that this has been resurrected for you and you've been pushed into this. I just heard thirst for knowledge. So you've been pushed into this energy for a reason. This thing that has been coming up to the surface for you is coming up for a reason. And it has to do with your alignment. It has to do with I feel like the trajectory of life that you want to take, like that you want your life to go. Okay. All right, cool. Now let's get into the tarot. Let's see what's going on. What's going on? All right. Shuffle it one more time. All right. So, what's going on with connection, strengthen, direction, immigration, knowledge, and resurrection? What's going on? That's maybe that one. Maybe not. That one. Shit. Okay. We've got the Four of Wands. So this is union or reunion energy. It can indicate marriage. It's yeah, it's a celebration of connection, ultimately, and it's long term. So maybe this is what came back up to the surface for you. Maybe it was one of those, I'm getting kind of a thread of energy of like not really having this be a priority. It was something that you were like, if it happens, cool, if not, cool. And now this is something you're desiring. Is a long-term committed connection, possibly marriage. And so, maybe that's part of where you're spinning your wheels a little bit is like, okay, this is something that I made my peace with and I was okay not having, and now this is like something I deeply desire, and now what? Um, and remember, those kinds of things are going to come up to the surface and be in your awareness for a reason. You're not going to be given, the divine doesn't just dangle a carrot. So just remember that. If these things are coming back up, if this is coming back up for you, and I said back up, which is interesting. So maybe at some point in your life, you actually did desire this. You actually did desire that traditional kind of marriage and, family and so on and so forth. And then you just kind of decided, no, I'm good. And then now it's coming back up. And maybe there were people around you, maybe it was family members, maybe it was friends that kind of helped program you in that way of like, don't do that. Focus on yourself. Do what makes you happy. Don't get entangled with another person. And, there could have been a lot of like negative um perspectives when it came to like marriage or long-term commitment with another person and things like that. And so maybe that's part of what you're making peace with is like, okay, I chose not to have this because I listened to these other people. And the thing is it is going to bring up a lot of emotions when that happens. You are going to feel grief. You are going to feel sadness. You are going to feel anger. You are going to feel regret. Let yourself feel those things and also release them. And then do your best to come to a point of forgiveness with, yes, those other people and understanding that they were operating from their subconscious programs and how they viewed things and everything else. And so come to peace with that. And then also forgive yourself for listening to that. That is a huge part of this is coming into that self forgiveness and saying, you know what? I was operating with a different set of beliefs. I was operating with a different perspective. I was operating from, a whole different place of consciousness. And so it's okay that you made some of the like, it's okay that you made the decisions you made. It's okay. Come into that place of self-forgiveness, and that is a big part. I feel like I'm speaking to somebody, and I totally get this, where it's easier to forgive other people, but it's really hard to forgive yourself. And so do your best to offer that same grace and forgiveness that you give other people, give that to yourself as well. I know for who I'm speaking to, I know it is harder to do that. This is where you get to give yourself a little bit of grace and be like, you know what? If I knew what I knew now, I would have done things differently, but I didn't know. And I was operating from a different set of beliefs and so on and so forth. And so I'm going to forgive myself for making the choices that I made. And now I'm going to learn from all of this and allow what is meant for me in this next stage of life to be able to manifest, because the divine is resurrecting this. The divine is bringing this back into your awareness for a reason. It's because you can still have it and you can have it now. So remember that. Okay. What? Page of Cups. Okay. This can be an expression of feelings. Um, so for some of you, you could be being guided to actually express your feelings with somebody that you desire to have a long-term commitment with. For others of you, if that's not something that you're currently dealing with, what I'm getting is this is allowing yourself to feel your own heart space and allow yourself to know that what your heart is leading you towards, what your heart's desires are, you can have. And so allow yourself to know that and then follow your intuition to allow yourself to obtain what it is that you are desiring in life. Um, okay. Eight of Wands. Okay. This is very fast moving energy. Oftentimes this indicates fast communication. So this could be something that you're being guided to do, is to communicate and express these deeper feelings to a specific person. If that part isn't for you, because that's a very strong thread of energy, but there's other threads of energy here too. So if that is not what you're currently dealing with, what this is indicating is the divine is attempting to bring you a windfall of manifestations. And so make sure you're allowing yourself to stay open to that, to know that you are deserving of it, that you are worthy of it, that you can have it. And then listen to the guidance, because this is the divine attempting to bring you a lot of manifestations. This is fast moving energy. This is fast moving manifestations. And so you've got this in your energy. So do your best not to block it. There is also a message here for somebody that when you allow yourself, so this is for a specific thread of energy, when you allow yourself to communicate with the person that you're desiring to have long term commitment with, the energy shift that is going to take place within you is going to allow a bunch of other manifestations to come through, specifically finances, is what I'm hearing. So, yeah, yep. So that's cool. So all you get to do is have a conversation, and your energy's gonna shift, and then your finances are gonna expand. So fuck yeah, man. That's groovy. No, all right. Almost just threw that entire deck on the floor. That'd been fun. Had been 88 card pickup or whatever. Oh shit. Okay. Okay. So we've got the Empress and the Eight of Pentacles. The Empress is divine feminine energy. So you could be working with your divine feminine energy right now, really getting into that receptive mode, listening to the guidance, meditating, things like that. Um, okay, and then the Eight of Pentacles. This is saying you've been putting in a lot of work. And I'm getting for a lot of you, this is actually a lot of internal work. So you've been doing a lot of internal work. This could also indicate that you've been putting in a lot of work, because it is pentacles and that is our physical realm, right? So it's our physical reality. So you could be focusing on really putting in a lot of work. Maybe if you're a business owner, it's really putting a lot of focus and energy in that. If not, it's a lot of focus and energy in your job. So you could be really focused on building your finances, and there's a message here where it's like the divine is coming through to assist you with your finances. So remember, you don't have to do um, how the fuck am I gonna word that? when you're operating from a place of alignment, your input and your output are a little bit different. So, it's one of these things that the divine is attempting to over deliver. And I feel like there's a little bit of blocking that's happening in your energy where it's like the divine is attempting to bring you this massive blessing. And it's also there's hidden blessings in this thing. And I feel like you're kind of spinning your wheels about it and not allowing yourself to I was going to say take action towards it, which is more masculine energy, more divine masculine energy. So take it as it resonates. There's something here where you're being called to actually put more, like take action towards something that, and it has to do with what was resurrected for you. Um, and so you're being guided to take action on it. And the thing is when you allow yourself to take action on certain things, energetically it will open you up and then the divine can over deliver, the universe can over deliver. And so this is an energy where it's like if you've been on, oh, I just forgot the phrase. It's like burning, what is it, burning at both ends or something like that. It's where you're just like you're overworking yourself. um, when you are really shifting into alignment, you don't have to do that. You don't have to overwork yourself for pennies on the dollar kind of thing for like, little bits here and there. And like you put in 10-hour days and you get just enough to pay your bills. This is the energy where you are shifting to where it's work smarter, not harder, that kind of thing. So it's where you're putting in effort and energy into something like soul purpose, because that's another indicator for the eight of pentacles is soul purpose. So when you're more aligned and you're doing something that's more in alignment with like your purpose, and then you have that sense of fulfillment, you can put in 2 hours of work a day or 4 hours of work a day and then find yourself in an overflow of abundance. And so that's what I was talking about, like the input and output is different. um it's just when you're in alignment, things flow differently and you access more of like that universal abundant energy versus very limited, you have to overwork for just a little bit and just to get by. And it's pulling out of survival mode is ultimately what it is. And so that is something that you are shifting into. You are shifting your energy internally to a place where you are going to be able to actually exit survival mode here very soon. It's just going to be important for you to listen to your intuition and actually take that guidance and pull yourself out of this direction energy, because it's very it's spinning your wheels. It's very you're doing a lot, you're moving a lot, but you're not really going anywhere. That's the energy of this card. So it's where you allow yourself to be like, okay, I'm going to get clear, I'm going to get focused, and I'm going to allow myself to take the next steps towards my alignment, because ultimately the life of my dreams is going to be possible when I'm in alignment. And that's also, connecting with your higher self and letting your higher self take the wheel. Um okay. Exam. Yeah, Nine of Pentacles. This is financial, this is abundance. This can also be business owner, entrepreneurial energy. So if you're not a business owner, I feel like some of you are being called to do something entrepreneurial. Um, and yeah, Nine of Pentacles, that's self-made abundance, basically. It's this isn't like you got abundance passed down through generations. This is, you know, getting it yourself, more or less. And it's, of course we get help on the way and so on and so forth. It's just this wasn't handed to you. Abundance wasn't handed to you tangibly by, your family. Ultimately, that's what this means. So it's self-made abundance. And so that is something that you are aligning with. And there is this shift of like you're going from the Eight of Pentacles where you're putting in a lot of work, you're doing you're being consistent, you're doing your thing, you're, showing up every day, doing your thing, and then all of a sudden you shift into the Nine of Pentacles, which is which is an overflow. This is having more than you need to survive on. This is entering thrival mode where you're not stressed about, can I pay this on time, and do I need to wait until the next check? It's not living paycheck to paycheck. This is having an overflow. So you are shifting from the 8 of Pentacles to the 9 of Pentacles, and there is a completion energy here. So you're completing a bunch of cycles, and I feel like part of that is the cycle of being in survival mode. Um, which is really good. That's a beautiful place to be, because the thing is when you're not in survival mode, think about how much, like, just think about the difference in who you can be when you're not worried about, you know, when you're not in survival mode, when you're not worried about this and not worried about that, and can I pay for this and can I pay for that, and I want to do this thing, but I don't quite have the money for it, so on and so forth. Then you shift into the energy of like, oh yeah, I can do a lot of these things. And I might still have a budget, because that's just, it's a wise thing to do and have a budget, but still you're tapped into the flow of abundance. And so it's that energy of, think about what that does to your baseline energy. Think about how well you can rest, knowing that your financial needs are taken care of, knowing that you can put food on the table and there's no concern about it. You can, take a vacation and it's not something that you're going to have to pay off for the next 3 years. You could buy, this is a weird one. Okay, I just heard you can buy an engagement ring and not worry about the money. So, which, yeah, I mean, we've got the Four of Wands. So for some of you, that could be something that you're focused on or that you're worried about. Is something like, I really want to go towards this person and I really want to lock things in. However, I wouldn't be able to buy an engagement ring right now, and it would take me a couple years, or this or that. Well, what this is coming through to let you know is there's an end to that cycle. So here very soon, especially, I feel like if that particular message is very specific, but if that message resonates with you with like buying an engagement ring, and you know who you want to like spend the rest of your life with, and you're figuring out how to go towards that person, the message here is to let you know that the money and the financial abundance is going to come as a result of getting started on this path with this person. And so just keep that in the back of your mind. This is one of those, if you feel like you need to have the abundance first, it's actually something that's happening in reverse, and it's an energy thing. And so do your best not to worry about it, and just know and trust and allow that that is going to happen for you, and follow your guidance on what you're being guided to do when it comes to that person. Okay. Ultimately there is a completion here though. And the other thing too with the Empress, that's very abundant energy. The Empress, everything she touches, it grows. And it's not a gender thing, it's just most of the time the Empress is depicted as a woman. It's just divine feminine energy. When you're an Empress energy, everything you touch grows. It's Midas touch kind of energy. Um, ooh, okay. We'll see if any other messages want to come out. I'm feeling this is like this is very specific for that thread of energy where you know who this person is, you're desiring this person, it's come back up to the surface, and you're being um divinely led, really, back to this person. You're being magnetized to this person. You're being divinely led towards this person. It probably is a counterpart energy, just the way it feels. And uh um the last part of what I was gonna say just went somewhere. So hmm, anyways, and that this could be the thread of energy with like thinking about an engagement ring or something like that and worried about finances. Um, so we'll see if any other threads of energy will come through, but right now that's the only one I'm getting for this particular message. So what I'm getting, actually this part is going to be for everybody who's resonating up until this point, and then we're going to get a little more specific, and we'll see if anything else comes out when we get there. Four of Cups, this is talking about being bored, stagnant, stale, like life is just kind of stale, just kind of stagnant. It's not, you're not jumping for joy every day when you get up because you're so excited for life. This is where you wake up in the morning, you're like, okay, now I've got to do this today and do that today. And, you're doing your best to like be thankful for some stuff and, attitude of gratitude and all those things and putting in your hard work and doing your thing. But it's not really, you're not jumping for joy and in feeling that excitement and that joy and that passion every single day when you wake up. And so what this is really saying is the divine is coming through. This is part of this completion is you're getting ready to shift into a life experience where this is going to be a thing of the past. Um for some of you, it has something to do with the person that you're being called to. It's like life partner energy. So you could be, this could be an energy where you work with this person, plus you're romantic, plus your best friends, and they're your roller coaster buddy through life. Um, and it's an energy thing where it's like you and this person together, boredom and staleness and stagnancy is not the energy that you two together have. Like, this is an energy where you and this person get together and it is anything but boring. It is exciting and it changes and you're doing this and you're doing that. Now you're looking at doing this thing and now you're looking at doing it that thing and it's positive, like let's do this together. Now let's do that together. Now let's maybe start this business. Now let's maybe invest over here. Now let's maybe go on this vacation and whatever. It's very different. Um so that is what is coming to a completion for you is that boredom, that staleness, that, this is just life. And I just, I get up and I do my thing and I work and then I do this and then I do that, then I go to bed and then I get up and I do it again. And then maybe sometimes I can sneak off for a day and, go be in nature or go do this thing. And that's like the exciting thing of the week. Um, it's a very different energy that I'm feeling. I'm feeling it's gonna be a very different energy. Okay, now we've got the Two of Wands and the King of Cups. So what I'm getting from this is the Two of Wands is contemplating. It's contemplating. It's really to me what it feels like is it's contemplating two life paths. Um, and it's one of those like, do I go this way or do I go that way? And you're kind of sitting there and you're just like, I don't know which way to go. And that's where this direction energy comes in as well. Is like, do I do this thing? Do I do that thing? Do I do this thing? Do I do that thing? And for some of you, it might not necessarily be the life path anymore. Maybe you've already picked that you are going to go down this path, and I'm getting like the path of alignment. And now it's like, okay, how do I go about doing this next thing that I'm being called to do because it's bringing up a lot of like anxiety. Um, and then the King of Cups. This is very heart open. This is emotionally mature. Being guided to read it. Okay. Well, shucks. Just a second. Okay. So I paused it to grab the book because I'm being guided to read the King of Cups, and it's just like a little blurb, so it's not a long thing. Um, Then when I was looking over here, there was the Queen of Swords that fell out on the Page of Cups and the Eight of Wands, which is I feel like what this is really talking about, and this is a specific thread of energy, so take it if it resonates. This is taking the action and bringing in fast communication, and it's a confession of feelings is really what's coming through off this Page of Cups. And you are confessing it to a Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords has boundaries. They've been through a lot of shit and they have boundaries. And then I'm getting another energy though, is it's not like you're not really worried about like crossing their boundaries on like in a toxic way. I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that you're worried about that. What I'm getting is you're worried you don't know the boundary when it comes to if this person wants you to express these deeper feelings. You don't know if this person is completely over it. Again, this is a very specific thread of energy, so just take it as it resonates. But um it's like you don't know. You don't know if they're interested. You don't know if they want this from you. You don't know if um w- I just got a I just got an intense An intense energetic feeling. Okay. If you're really concerned, okay. Whew, hold on. Holy shit. What I'm okay, this person is very much interested in you. Just so you know. Um, so the kind of the recommendation coming through here is to communicate and kind of test out that boundary. And it's not saying, again, this isn't a boundary of like a personal boundary that this person has placed because they've been through shit and they know their worth and, they're going to be, like, this is a person that's like, you're going to speak to me in a certain way. You're not going to come at me in a disrespectful energy because you will get the sword. It's not that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying push those boundaries because you will get the sword. I'm just saying. Um, it's more testing that boundary because you don't know if this person actually wants to have this conversation. Actually, I just heard even cares that you have these feelings. This person absolutely cares. And so I feel like the guidance here is to allow yourself to take some action towards them and to kind of feel out that boundary and see if they are interested in a deeper expression of feelings from you when it comes to this is a romantic thread of energy. This is very much you desire to be in the Four of Wands energy with this person. This is a person that if they were open to it, you would get down on one knee. So I might be talking to a masculine. It doesn't have to be a gender thing. It's just it's the masculine energy. Like this is one of those like this I feel like this is the person that makes you want to do those things and it's just a natural energy thing. And so it's like you want this energy with this person, but you just do not know if they are even open to that with you. And the message coming through is yes they are, and it's okay to go towards them and kind of test that boundary. Because you are yeah, yeah, it's okay to go towards this person right now. Like it's a go. You're getting a green light. You're getting the green light from spirit. You're getting the green light from some of this person. This is really specific. Okay. You're getting the green light when it comes to, so this person, okay, I'm being shown the Empress. You could be a divine masculine. This could be a divine feminine. This person has a lot of energetic protection. They literally have like beings around them that are protecting their energy. And also like they're doing their own energetic protection. So this is somebody who is very energetically protected. And you are being given the green light from the protective beings, I guess we could say, around this person. And so, like, you're getting an energetic green light. And when you're getting that energetic green light, it's also because their human self is open to that. So, yeah. Okay. Okay, okay. King of Cups. That's really funny. I opened the Ten of Cups, which is happily ever after. The King of Cups. So, yeah, loving, emotional intelligence, patience, stability and balance, experience, creativity, someone supportive, being nurturing, and a wise leader. So, yeah, I feel like this is really saying that there's a King of Cups here at this crossroads energy, not sure how to go about what they're being guided to do. Okay, so I feel like we're getting really specific on this message here. So we're just gonna follow it. All right. Okay. What? So this is a counterpart energy, isn't it? Yep. Okay. Definitely there's a counterpart thread of energy that we're following. Okay. Alrighty dokie. What am I speaking to the divine masculine? So what are they being guided to do? Oh, I just heard reach out. Communicate. Use your words. Use your words, my guy. Whether you're a guy or not. It's all good. Not gender specific. Two of Swords. What? Make a decision. Okay, yeah, you're really being guided to make a decision. Two of Swords can be indecision. It can also be denial. Um, Give me just a second. Okay. So we're going to address these two cards, and then I'm going to do what I was being called to do in just a minute. So with the Four of Swords in reverse and then the Knight of Cups, this is an actual romantic offer. So the Page of Cups is an expression of emotions. It's an expression of love, basically. And then the Knight of Cups is an action of love. So it's like actually making some sort of romantic offer. And it could be, it could include something like on this card, it's, flowers and a letter and a picnic and like all the traditional romantic gestures that we tend to think of. And it doesn't have to be a physical thing. It can be an actual offer of commitment or of potential commitment, depending on where you're at on, with this person and everything else. Um, so you're being guided to get out of this halftime energy, this rest and rejuvenation and taking a break. You're being guided to get out of this energy and actually take some action, and go towards this person. And then, with this Two of Swords energy coming out, what I was kind of hearing is like, okay, because you're spinning your wheels, so you don't know this person's boundaries, you don't know what they're going to say. You don't know if they're open to it. You don't know if they want to even go there with you. And and that is what's stopping you from taking any forward action right now. And then there's also a fear of rejection that I'm picking up on. And so what I'm being guided to do is kind of give you a little pep talk. Okay. So you've already thought about all the potentials on how this could go wrong. You've already thought about it. We don't even need to go there. You've already thought about, the potential rejection, a potential this, potential that. You've been looping about all of the potentials. So, okay, go towards this person and feel them out a little bit. And then it's one of those things like, what if, instead of doing the what if game for what if they aren't receptive? What if they don't want me? What if this is all in my head? What if this isn't what I feel like it is, and I'm getting the guidance and so on and so forth? I'm being magnetized to this person, but what if this is all some divine trick and I'm misinterpreting all the signs and the synchronicities, and this actually isn't what I'm being guided to do, so on and so forth. So let's flip that into the other polarity. What if the guidance you're being given is what it is? What if this person does desire you? What if you go towards this person and they lean in? What if you go towards this person and they tell you that they feel the same way about you and they've been waiting to hear it from you for a long time? What if they say, I'm 10 toes down. Let's do this. What if they say, yeah, you're the only person I've ever felt this way for? What if they say, you've always been it for me, and I just had to do life the way that I did because I didn't think it was an option? What if, that kind of thing? Hold on. Sorry, had to pause it for a minute. I was getting a little choked up for a minute. Anyhow, so think about that. Get yourself on that snowball thought process. And then from that point, allow yourself, when you're in that energy of like, what if this is real? What if this is actually meant to be? What if this is my perfect person and they're on board and we are being divinely guided back to each other right now for a very divine reason, and it does have to do with long-term commitment? Get yourself on that track, and then allow yourself, before you can stop yourself, before you can doubt it, before you pull back into this direction energy of what if not, what if not, what if they do this, what if they do that. Don't allow yourself to go there. Get yourself on that track of spinning in that direction of, what if this person is actually open and actually does desire this with me, and they are actually at the human conscience level helping to manifest me into their life, just like I'm wanting to manifest them into mine? what if that is what's actually going on and this is divinely led? This is a magical thing that I'm experiencing, and this is really what I'm being guided to do. Allow yourself to get into that energy. And when you get into that energy, maybe even like if this is going to be a message, maybe even have a message ready to send, and then allow yourself, literally put yourself on that spiral of a positive what if trajectory, and then press send. And it doesn't even have to be something like where you express all of your emotions. I feel like this is really about you breaking no contact and getting into communication with this person. So have something typed up and ready, get yourself on that spiral, and then hit send before you can talk yourself out of it and see what happens. And it could even be just something like, hey, how's it going? Would you want to talk sometime? And just get yourself on that happy thread of energy where you're snowballing in that direction of the possibilities and the expansion, because ultimately that's the path you're on the path of expansion. So put yourself in that energy where you are expanding yourself and you're pushing yourself into that expansive energy. You're believing that this is possible for you. You're believing that this is being divinely led. You are being magnetized to this person right now. You've been given all the green lights in the spirit realm. It's a go. It's a go. So allow yourself to get into that positive spin, and then just press send in whatever that is. And then allow yourself to flow from there. Get into the flow state from there. And it's one of these things that's like, I feel like for you specifically, once you allow yourself to start talking to this person, this direction energy is just going to lift, because it's going to be so clear pretty quickly for you what direction it's likely to go. And for most of you, actually, if you're here resonating, I feel like this is the direction it's going, is to have a very serious potential for locking this in for the long term. So, okay, okay, okay. So, High Priestess, listen, make sure you're listening to your intuition. Your intuition is telling you what to do right now. The direction, the head spinny thing is because you're not listening to your intuition. It just that's kind of how it works. So when your intuition is like, "Oh, go do this thing," and then you're like, "Oh, well, but wait," and then you start talking yourself out of it. That's when you get into that head spinny energy. So your intuition is already telling you what to do when it comes to this situation, and you're being guided to just allow yourself to listen to this intuition and take this leap. Okay. So I think we're really kind of on this specific thread of energy. So, yeah, because I'm not getting anything else I'm not getting the other threads of energy that were there at the beginning. They might come through here in a minute. I'm not sure. We'll see. We've got the Two of Pentacles. So you could have a lot going on. Um, and, you're being guided. Your intuition is guiding you to balance out this situation and is letting you know that you are ready to handle what this entails when it comes to you and this person. You're energetically ready for it. So your physical reality will catch up. Just remember that. And I'm getting like financial concerns. Queen of Wands and the Devil. Hey. What's the Devil card have to do with this? Huh? Okay, Queen of Wands. This is very physically attractive. This is also very passionate, very could be an entrepreneur, could be a business owner. It's very kind of marches to the beat of their own drum. They have a unique style. They have a unique way of doing things, passionate, creative, very inspiring. And with the devil card, huh? Because this is talking about like temptations or vices. Um, oh, this could be that worry of it all being in your head. Um, hmm, 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 hmm. Okay, so I had to pause it for a minute to figure out what this devil card was talking about. And what I'm getting is it's that fear that this is all in your head. And you know, pep talk number two. Um the thing is I'm getting counterpart energy. So, if that resonates, great. If not, that's okay. It still could be your message. I'm just gonna speak from it from that lens, that standpoint. So the thing is um it's normal to think it's all in your head because it just defies logic. Um, and even, trust me, like I thought it was all in my head for a long time too. And so the divine feminine, because I feel like I'm talking to a masculine, the divine feminine goes through this too. Where it's just like this is all in my head. I'm just whatever, right? It's just that fear. It's that worry that this is too good to be true. This is all in my head. There's no way that this could actually be possible. There's no way that my uh, yeah, I get it. It's hard this journey's just fucking hard. But it's one of those things that yeah, it is it's wild. It's really wild. And it's one of those things that, like, for me, hold on. So I paused it for a minute. In this particular thread of energy, when we're talking about the counterpart thing, I resonate with it very much so. And so if you've been with me for a little bit and you've watched these messages, I pause it a lot more than other messages because I'm making sure that I'm not projecting my own journey on this reading. So, um, just little insight. Anyhow, so I paused it to make sure, like, am I really being guided to talk about this? And I am. And so the thing is it's one of those, like, it's not in your head. It's not. I mean, it's divinely led. You are being magnetized to your person right now. The divine is literally trying to bring you two back together because of the potential that you have with your person right now. There's a potential here for you two to come together and lock in a long-term committed energy. And so it's one of those things, like, I can guarantee you, almost guarantee you, that if you're here, you're resonating with this energy, your feminine is on board, your feminine is open to you, and probably wants to hear from you more than anybody else that they talk to. I'll just be honest. Um, and it's one of those things, like, yeah, because I'm feeling the energy, and it's one of those on the feminine side. I'm getting this deep desire to hear this from you and to really talk about, like, the potentials of the future together. Um, and so just know that. I for a long time I thought it was all in my head too. So I resonate, I understand that. And it is a weird place to be. It's a strange journey to be on. It's just understanding at some point that, like, what's the other explanation for it? That's kind of where I had to get, was like, I've been on this journey for too fucking long. I've experienced too much for this to be just all in my head. It's gone on for too long at this point for it to be all in my head. So there is something more real and more tangible about what I'm experiencing. And so, now I just send the energy of, like, let it, let him know I'm open. So that was okay. Any fucking ways. Um I just flew out. Okay, so yeah, you maybe your feminine is wanting to give you that message. That could be why that just flew out of my mouth. Maybe this is part of your feminine trying to come through in this reading to let you know that they might be sending you that same kind of energy of, like, let them know, let this person know that I am absolutely open to this and to seeing, where we're at now. And, you know, if, like, yeah, if it's energetically and in the spiritual realm a go, and both of your human selves are on board, there you go. And it's one of those things that if you're worried about finances, you're worried about this, you're worried about that, when the divine brings two counterparts together to actually lock in, and you're both energetically ready for each other, that also means that you are energetically ready to boss up in a lot of other areas in life, including finances. So it's just understanding that you're energetically ready for this. Even if you don't feel like you are, if you're here and you're resonating with this, I'm telling you that you are in alignment with your person. So it is okay to go towards this person and to test out their boundary a little bit and see, if they are open to this. And I'm getting that for a lot of you, it's going to be one of those things where you're so nervous and you're so worried and you've got so much like anxiety around what they're going to say. And then the moment you reach out or the moment you talk to them, you're just going to know instantly, and all of those worries are just going to vanish. All of it's going to vanish, and it's just like it's a relief energy, and then it's this overflowing joy of like, holy fucking shit, this is real. You are on board. You're my person, I'm your person, we're each other's perfect match. And we both want the same things, more or less. Some of the details might be different, but those big things are going to be in alignment. So just know that. Yeah. Okay. So, anyhow, let's see if anything else wants to come out. Seven of Pentacles. You've been waiting for things to manifest. You've been waiting for things to work out, and it's about to. You by you following your intuition and following your heart and taking action towards it, you're going to see that this Seven of Pentacles energy, where you've been waiting for things to work out in the physical realm for you, you're going to go from the Seven of Pentacles to the Nine of Pentacles really fast, which again is like waiting for your harvest to come in to all of a sudden an overflow when it comes to physical resources. So that is something that is also tied to this. The Seven of Swords being in reverse is letting you know this is not an illusion. This is not a divine trick. That's not what's going on here. You are literally being magically, divinely led to your person at this time for a reason. And there's anxiety. So the Nine of Swords. This whole thing could be causing a lot of anxiety right now. You could be experiencing insomnia. You could be experiencing just a lot of mental anguish. And part of it is because your intuition is guiding you towards your person, but then you're thinking that that's not what is happening, and so it's keeping you stuck in your head. You're not sure if this is actually real, what they're going to say, if they're open to it, so on and so forth. And your intuition is saying, just go, find out, reach out, because your person wants you. Your person is open to you. Your person is absolutely desiring this with you. They are an empress. So, don't go in and I feel like I don't even need to say that. It's like, don't go in and try to play games with the divine feminine because it's not going to work. But I feel like you already know. Okay, you could feel you could be a little guarded right now. Maybe you feel like your person's a little bit guarded. This is reunion energy. This is celebration energy. Just do your best not to self-sabotage it. Again, really think about that piece of advice earlier of like getting yourself in that positive upswing and then just reaching out from that point and seeing what happens, because I feel like you're not going to regret it. You're really not. Um, and it's going to help you pull out of this mental prison that you've been stuck in for a while. And you're going to see that this is actually the divine attempting to grant you one of your biggest wishes, is what I just heard. So this is an ultimate wish fulfillment. This is a wish being granted, and it's going to pull you out of this mentally trapped energy, this anxiety, and all of this, because you're going to see that this is something that is actually possible for you to tangibly have in this lifetime. Were those all the ones that came out? Okay, we're gonna do a little bit more and then probably close it out. Okay. What else? Here's another wish. Holy shit. There's another wish fulfillment energy. Um, yeah. You bringing in a passionate offer to this person is wish fulfillment. It's going to be wish fulfillment for you because it's most likely going to be received. This is also the divine helping you with this new beginning with your person. And it's going to be ultimate wish fulfillment, complete wish fulfillment. And then we've got the Emperor, which is divine masculine energy. So you are ready to be with an Empress. You're in your divine masculine energy. You're ready for a divine feminine. And and this is also going to be a learning thing where you come together and then you learn together how to, level up and, continue to be the best version of yourself because that's ever changing, it's ever evolving, you're ever growing, you're ever expanding. So this is where you come together and start doing that together instead of apart. And then yeah, the Knight of Wands. This is fast moving, passionate energy. So it's really saying that it's safe for the masculine to take this passionate energy to your person. It's safe to do so. They will receive you, is what I just heard. Which again, that's come through before. It sounds really weird, but it's kind of true, like energetically. This Empress is ready to receive your energy. In probably a lot of ways. Um, but it's more than just lust. It's more than just physical. It's way beyond that. And you know that. And so it's one of these things like this is in alignment. You two are in alignment. You've gotten the green light in the spiritual realm. So now it's up to you to use your free will to take action towards your person and they're ready for you. Um they want this too. Um it's ultimate. It's the ultimate on both ends. It's the ultimate wish fulfillment on both ends. You are each other's perfect match by design. So don't discredit yourself. Okay. Well, we just took a whole counterpart fucking turn and I didn't mention it. So, there we go. That's all right. It happens. So, okay, I was guided to just like randomly split the deck and it was on the chariot. So, this is getting in your chariot, so to speak, and taking that initiative directed action. This is determination. This is very much forward action. Sorry, my brain went like, what's backwards action? Okay, any fucking ways. This is that forward determined action, like moving forward, taking those action steps and really getting, allowing yourself to be determined and like, okay, I really want this. I feel like, the divine is guiding me to this person and I'm going to go find out. So ultimately allow yourself to really get into that energy where you're snowballing in that positive direction and then just reach out because I feel like that's going to be really, really beneficial for you so that you can kind of circumvent your mind coming up with all the negative what ifs. Because I feel like I'm getting this image of like uh, somebody like on their phone typing out a message and getting ready to hit send and then be like, no. And so that's where it's like, just allow yourself, maybe pre-plan it, like have it written out what you would want to say, and then allow yourself to just put your phone down and then, start that upward spiral. What if they do want this? What if this is divinely led? What if they are on board? What if we can lock this in? What if they're going to be open and receptive to me? Okay, that feels really good. Okay, okay, okay. I don't really know, but fuck it and just hit send and just do it and just see what happens. And what you're gonna find after you take this leap of faith is fortune is on your side with the wheel. This is the wheel turning in your favor. This is a 180. So this is you and your person, doing life. Like ultimately what I'm getting from this is you and your person doing life apart. And then all of a sudden you take this leap of faith and now you're doing life together. And so allow yourself to really feel how amazing that feels, and then just find out for yourself that it really is a possibility. In this energy right here, if you're resonating up until this point, your person wants this with you. And all of the things that you're worried about, finances and location and and jobs and this and that and the other. That stuff will work itself out. The divine will continue to assist you. Think about the force that has come in to push you and your person back together. Now think about what that can do when you're more in alignment and you're more in that happy, open, loving energy. Think about how far and fast you can level up in your physical realm with that same energy backing you in all of those directions. It's limitless. So do your best not to worry about all that other little shit, because ultimately it's minor things that you're probably not even gonna you're gonna look back in like a year after you allow yourself to reach out and start locking this in. You're gonna look back in a year and be like, holy shit, we're in a completely different situation in all areas of life than we were a year ago. Like, this is the divine coming through and saying, you ready for your level up? Like, let's fucking go. Um, so yeah, that's how it works. So allow yourself to go get this wish fulfillment and go get your person, because they're on board. They really, really are. I can feel it in the energy. So okay, with that, I'm gonna leave this here. I hope this resonates. If so, you can let me know in the comments below. I'd love to talk to you about it. Feel free to hit that like button. It does help out the channel, so thank you, thank you. And if you would like to see more from me, you can hit subscribe. It is free. I will see you on the next message. Bye.